NXT starts off with Ethan Page versus Allure. I forgot his name already. I know his last name is LaFleur, but this was a really good match. Really good match. Really enjoyed the French luchador. Really showed out. Really impressed me. I already knew that the match was going to be great, but it was just great watching it. To be honest with you, he's basically gonna, in my opinion, I think he's probably just gonna take the spot of what Javon Evans was doing. Him being this super extreme, high flying type guy. I think he's probably just gonna replace what Javon Evans was doing. But nonetheless, this was a really good match. I was actually rooting for him, to be honest with you. I was kind of hoping he wins. I'm not mad that Ethan Page did retain. He ended up holding up his tights so they could potentially review a rematch. Who knows? But I'm not mad at it, to be honest with you. I understand why Ethan Page won. At this point, I don't know who's beating Ethan Page, to be honest with you, because they're just keep having him win matches. He's like JC Jane at this point. Ethan Page is basically the male JC Jane at this point, where it's like you assume they may lose, but they just keep retaining that championship somehow. Like, it's just crazy. But I'm not mad at it. Ethan Page is having a great North American Championship reign, and I'm excited to see what they do next with him. What's next for the French luchador? Don't know, but I am excited to see what they do with him because they need to build up new stars. That's something I've been saying for the past 2 years, but they need to build up new stars. So if he's one of them, I'm not mad at it, to be honest with you. So very excited. I'm gonna just see what they do with him. Now I'm going to discuss all the qualifying matches that happened on tonight's show. The first qualifying match for the NXT Championship was Shaolin Hill versus Josh Briggs. This was also a good match. I don't know why Shaolin Hill won. I don't understand it. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think it's his fault that I'm not a fan of it. It's mainly his gimmick. I just can't get with the gimmick. I just find it very corny and cringe. Why is Josh Briggs losing? I don't understand. This is one of the guys that was facing Obafemi for the NXT Championship at one point. I don't get why he's losing this match. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I feel like the ladder match should be filled with people who we can see having a chance of winning it. I don't see Shaolin Hill winning the NXT Championship, especially with Shawn Michaels booking. Shawn Michaels typically doesn't just Shawn Michaels has weird booking where he books someone for like 3 months straight and just puts them in like high profile matches, but he typically don't just randomly make people like NXT champions like that. Typically when he's booking them, he typically puts them in high profile matches for a bit and then they disappear, but he typically don't put the championship on them. So I just don't see Shaolin Hill actually winning it, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he actually win, but I think Josh Briggs should have went over her. In my opinion, you could have built up Shaolin Hill a bit more to eventually get a championship opportunity. That's just me personally. And then the other qualifying match we ended up having was Shawn Legacy versus Eli Knight, which was a really good match. Shawn Legacy picked the victory, which I was excited about because I like Shawn Legacy. He's one of the main people that I'm actually high on coming from Evolve. Eli Knight as well, but Shawn Legacy, I think he has more. I think he has more of a character. He's already more not as green as other people from Evolve. I actually like him a lot. And then we got the other qualifying matches that's going to happen next. So you got Joe Hendry versus, I forgot who is he facing. Oh, he's facing one of the Vanity Project people, Jackson Drake, which I don't like. I kind of wanted Jackson Drake to be in the match, but Joe Hendry is not losing. I just don't see. The only way Joe Hendry loses is by interference, which is possible. It is possible that the Vanity Project do interfere in that match and help Jackson Drake win, which I do hope, because I didn't want any TNA guys. I didn't. I just don't think TNA guys should be in an NXT Championship qualifying ladder match. Like, I'm cool with them getting championship opportunities. I just don't want them to be in this scenario. I feel like this should be all about building up the future of NXT due to you losing all of your main event talent. That's just me personally. So I'm assuming Joe Hendry is going to be in the match. You got Keanu Carter versus Andre Chase, which makes no sense. Why is Andre Chase getting a NXT Championship opportunity? Makes no sense at all because he hasn't done anything for like 3 years and he's been a loser for 3 years. So I don't understand it. But Keanu Carter, the reason why they did that was simply so Keanu could just look dominant and destroy Andre Chase. That's the only reason why Andre Chase got that position. And then the last one, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Dion versus Miles Bourne, which is another match which I kind of don't like because I kind of wanted both of them to be in there because they both deserve it, if I'm being honest. But I'm assuming Dion has to win, especially with the way you've been booking Dark State. I think it makes sense. But they're also telling the story of Miles Bourne potentially turning heel because they have Ethan Page constantly being in his ear about how he needs to just stop focusing on others and pull the trigger and bring out this new side of him. But I don't know. I think this may be the catalyst to make him turn heel. He loses to Dion, realize something needs to change, and then eventually turn. But I would be mad if Miles win, but I think Dion should be the one winning. So it looks like Dion's going to be in the match. Joe Hendry, Keanu Carter, Eli Knight, Sean Legacy, and I think, and Charlene Hill. I'm going to be honest. Out of those 6 people, the one I will probably want to win, honestly, oh yeah, Ricky Saints is going to be. Yeah, isn't Ricky Saints already in the match as well? So yeah, because if Ricky Saints is already in the match. So oh yeah, because I counted Eli Knight by accident. So Ricky Saints, I think Ricky Saints is going to be the one that wins it because based off those names, the only other person I would want winning it would probably be Dion and then Sean Legacy. That's really it. So, but I think Ricky Saints is probably the best and the safest choice if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see what they do with that NXT Championship. We eventually end up getting the Vanity Project versus Chase U. This was a really good match. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching Brad Baylor and then Smokes. They was really good in the ring. I like the Vanity Project. I'm gonna be honest. They are very unique taste for people. I like them because they remind me of like Disney Channel characters. They remind me of like something Disney Channel would produce, which I know that could be corny for some, but for me, it's very nostalgic like. So for me, I find it actually very entertaining. This is a tag team that I can actually see working on the main roster with some more seasoning. If they just, spend like 2 years in there, I can see this actually working. And I actually like all the members. I think all the members have potential. I'm not saying they're all main event potential, but they all potential have at least potential to be at least mid-card guys. I like Jackson Drake a lot. So I'm actually interested in this tag team. Who knows? Maybe they help the NXT tag division because that division sucks. So maybe they help that division out. Even though they're another heel group and NXT don't need more heel tag teams. They need babyface tag teams because every tag team in there is basically heels. They need more face tag teams. But nonetheless, I'm I like the Vanity Project. I'm actually high on them. So I'm interested to see where they go in NXT. One of my favorite things of the show was Jaida Parker. She ended up cutting a really good babyface promo. There was moments where it did come off a bit off, if I'm being honest, but she's typically a heel or a tweener. But the fact that they're fully committing to her being a babyface gives me hope that they may actually do something with her. Because typically, if you're a babyface in NXT, that typically gives you more of an advantage because typically they're more willing to protect baby faces. So she ends up cutting a great babyface promo. I'm not gonna really go in depth on it. It was not really much to say because she kind of did a ramble for a bit. Eventually, Blake Monroe comes out. She cuts the lights off, had a spotlight put on her, which I thought was great considering she keeps calling herself the Spotlight. She basically ends up saying that Jaida Parker made a great mistake. Jaida ends the promo with the crowd chanting her name and her theme song, and that's really it. I like what they did here. Not a brawl, not a fight, just something simple. I'm excited for this feud, if I'm being honest. I think this is probably the last feud Blake would do before she moves on to the main roster. So if that is the case, I'm cool with it. Hopefully Jaida goes over. I'm excited to see what they do with these two because these two are very talented women. I think they could put on a good match, and I think from these two, from a promo and character standpoint, they could put on a really great feud. They're two of the best characters and promo workers in NXT. Well, they are the best promo and character workers in NXT. Yeah, even from a men's perspective, I would argue, outside of Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. So yeah, I'm excited for this feud, to be honest. We eventually do end up getting the main event. This is the #1 contendership match for the TNA Women's Tag Team titles between the Ren QCC, Zaruka, and then Fatal Influence. This was a really good match. Lane Reed had a really good performance in this match. Towards the end of the match, you end up getting Zaruka, ended up picking up the victory. They're going to get the TNA Women's Tag Team titles, so I'm assuming they're probably going to do a tease there, which I don't really care for at this point. They continue to do these teases with Zaruka, but I just don't care at this point. This is giving me Judgment Day vibes. I'm assuming this is probably going to be the stand and deliver match, but if that is the case, why did they tease it so many? Typically, Shawn Michaels don't do that many teases when he typically teases a breakup. He typically don't go the Triple H route. He typically just don't. So for whatever reason with this feud, he does it a lot. I don't understand it. I really don't. But nonetheless, they're the #1 contenders. They're going to be on TNA this week for the TNA Tag Team title. So we'll see how that match plays out. Other things in NXT that happened. Tony D'Angelo got arrested due to him attacking multiple NXT talent. I'm not going to really discuss this because I just don't care about Tony D'Angelo. What is the point of this gimmick? He attacks heels, baby faces. Is he a tweener? Is he a heel? I don't know. He doesn't speak. Why is he not speaking? It makes no sense. Like, what is his end goal here? Because that's the thing that doesn't even make sense. Because typically, you could like piece things together like, oh, he wants this championship or he's going after certain type of people. No, it's just random. I don't even think Shawn Michaels knows what to do with Tony D'Angelo. I think Tony D'Angelo is just stuck there because he's not getting called up to the main roster. I don't think Triple H wants to do anything with Tony D'Angelo. And he might just be another Wesley situation. I really think he's going to be yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, this is giving me Wesley vibes. Wesley turned heel. It was starting off great, but then when the Rascals got injured, they didn't know what to do with him. And then he ended up being on Evolve and stuff. Tyson's, this is giving me Wesley vibes. Yeah, this is giving me Wesley vibes. Yeah, Tony D'Angelo is gonna be the new Wesley. That's crazy. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, this is what. Yeah, I don't want that to be the case, but That's just my gut feeling because I don't know what they're doing with him at this point. And also, we're also getting a triple threat North American Championship match between Izzy Dame, Thea Hill, and Lola Weiss. That should be a really good match. Izzy Dame should retain, though, because why would she lose this early? Plus, they already teased they Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame continuing their feud, so that makes no sense for her to lose the championship. I'm assuming there's going to be some type of altercation between Thea and Lola that's Izzy Dame to pick up the victory. But nonetheless, this was a good show. This was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. Show some new evolved talent. I think the men's division isn't going to be as bad as people say it is. I understand they don't have top tier talent, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as people say. But nonetheless, you guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. But yeah, that's it.